Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I am going to be doing the water background for this page. I am colouring in Magical Dawn by Hanna Karlzon. I'm also going to work on fixing the heart using a colouring tutorial by Helen Elliston in Colour Special Effects. I think it's the first book. So I'm going to use that to try and just shape this heart up into a bit more of a 3D look. So for now, I'm using the Mei Liang watercolor paints, and I have opened up my Pinterest because I've got a picture that I am using as a reference. Now, I don't expect to get the same picture, so my picture is not going to look the same as my reference photo, but I am going to try and use it for inspiration. So I'm going to be using white, and I'm going to use like a yellow ochre and Payne's grey. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring in some green or not. I can't quite work out in the picture I'm using whether it's a grey or if there's a green tinge to it, so I might just stick to the Payne's grey and the yellow. I think it might work better for the color palette I've got going on. I might actually put a bit of black into my Payne's grey and just try and grey it up a bit as well. I trust that you are all well, and I hope you've had a good weekend and a good week, a good start to your week. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is kind of go with a wet on wet. I think that will probably work the best. It's most likely going to bleed through, which is just annoying, but it is what it is. So one sec while I get some paper. I'll just grab a piece of paper to try and just protect the bleed through. Oh, I've got one there already. Okay. Excuse me. And let's see. I'm also using Prismacolor Pencils. Hi Kenny, hi Noel, how are you? Hope you're all doing well. Alright, so I'm going to attempt a wet on wet. Now, I can't use a washi tape background because, I mean, like a frame. It's too close, so this is really going to be fun. Okay, so wet on wet, here we go. And if it bleeds through onto the picture, I'll just have to kind of deal with that. But I'm hoping if I kind of make these bits, I think it's going to be largely white into, I don't know, like white here going out yellow, and then the edges, maybe more here at the bottom, will be like that darker Payne's grey. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I can always use a white gel pen to make everything a bit more white if I need to, or I could use white acrylic paint. So let's make it work. All right, so what I'm going to start off by doing is I'm going to drop white paint here. I'm going to try and play. You'd probably get a better effect if you were doing like a white gouache, then a white acrylic, or white acrylic, then white. Then using this sort of watercolor paint. That's where I'm going with this. Watercolor paints, white watercolor paint doesn't work the same as it's a thicker, more opaque. Yeah, we'll make it work somehow. Try to pick it up from the edges. So my goal for 2024 is to try and use a bit more mixed media, be a little bit more adventurous. So here, maybe a bit thicker. Nope. Make loads of mistakes and fix them. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It's just gonna go the way it goes. So I've kind of accepted that with Magical Dawn, it's my sort of like journal, coloring journey sort of book. So I give myself permission to mess it up, to make it messy, to work with whatever happens, color over mistakes, because I can't experiment freely if I'm worried about a perfect page, especially with something like watercolor. So I need to give myself the freedom to explore, to try things and to fail. And because this was my first coloring book, I feel like I can give myself permission to experiment and let go. And I mean, if I try and approach everything as a masterpiece, I'm not necessarily going to learn much or enjoy things as much. And I like a challenge, and I like trying different things, and I like learning. So I like to approach things kind of this way. And as I do more watercolor tutorials, I'm pretty sure I'll learn better techniques, and then my painting backgrounds will improve. And but at least for now we can just try, we can experiment. What's the worst that could happen? I might even actually change it and not make it like a glowy hot. I might make like a spotted sort of background. So let's see. Yeah, exactly. The only way to know is to experiment. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do this in like Fragile World or an Anastasia Lee Caldereva book per se. Like there are some books that are just, they're just not an experiment book. I mean, also I think of like artists and the artists that we know and how they got to where they are today. I think it wasn't always just, they didn't get to be those artists, well-renowned artists, just by being good. They had to experiment and play in some respects. And why not us? I mean, I have no idea whether this is going to work. But it's fine. We live and we try and we have fun. I mean, you've seen some people, they are really good at making different backgrounds, and I just don't always know how they do that. But then sometimes you can come across people and you realize actually the reason they do those backgrounds is because they tried and they played, and that's what they learned works for them. I've learned like you can put salt on top of watercolor and it creates this funky sort of effect like snowflakes. Does anyone do their backgrounds first? I've seen some people do their backgrounds first, others prefer to do it at the end. I'm not sure whether I like to do it first or towards the end. Oh yeah, Christine Karen does have beautiful watercolor portraits. I sometimes watch her on Instagram. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? Right, I think I'm just gonna leave it. Otherwise I'll end up painting the paper away. Alright, it's not too bad. I mean, it could be worse. Oh wow, you started an acrylic background. Aren't you brave? What inspired you to try an acrylic background? Although to be fair, I've done black acrylic backgrounds, but that's about it really. Let's try and go along here. Oh, if you hear any background, sorry, it's just the family going to bed. Oh wow, a bright orange background, cool. Oh, I'm sorry the weather's windy and cloudy for you, Michelle. Glad that you're safe and hope the fishing trip is going well. See, I like how that's looking there. Maybe I can do the same around here. See, this is what I mean by playing. Wow, you've done half your quote already. That's amazing. Well done. Sounds like you've been really productive. Alright, I'm liking the bottom there a bit better. So let's see if I can mottle it down at the bottom. At the top, kind of like try and do the same thing. Okay, I've probably bled through. Yeah, I bled through. That's always the problem. Oh well, never mind. I'll just make that page interesting. Let's see if I can lift up some of the paints on the picture. I will just use white paint and gel pen to do the edges of the wings. Oh wow, Michelle, you do mostly landscapes like a misty forest and a field. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's really cool, Kenny. So how did you move from painting to coloring? Let's have a look and see how can I fix the heart. Alright, so we need to definitely bring a darker edge around. I think. Alright, this section here needs to be light. So what gets me with these hearts, because of all the jewels, I get very lost in separating or lifting out with my mind all the jewelry, so I can just see the plain heart shape. So I find that a bit challenging. But we'll get there, we'll get there. Hi Lacey, how are you? I'm going to use a bit of black and just see if I can work on the shadows area. I could use a 90% cool grey. Alright, let's use a 90% cool grey. You can see my whip on the other side while I fix this. Oh, cool, Michelle. You tried painting in school and found it didn't work for you. So then how did you get into colouring? I mean, I suppose colouring is very different to the whole art and, well, it's different to abstract art and painting. I like that you've got the illustrations already done for you. I think it's really helpful. Oh, okay, so you couldn't carry on painting. Oh, that makes sense. Well, I'm glad you found colouring books then. Hello, Kathleen, how are you? Alright, let's see if I get a Crimson Lake maybe. I do like Crimson Lake. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'm not doing too badly, thank you. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix this heart too much. It's got quite a lot on it already. But we will give it a good go, and it's fine. However it turns out, it's fine. It's a lot more 3D shape than when I first tried to color in a heart in the same book. And I'm going for, as long as it's an improvement, I'm learning. I think once I've put on the gold and completed the page, it might look a little bit more 3D. What I'm going to do is practice, see if I can practice some hearts and just get used to coloring them in a bit more of a three-dimensional way instead of keeping them too flat. To take it as like a learning opportunity. Oh wow, so Michelle, your sister bought you a mandala book for your birthday. And then later on you bought a Johanna Basford after watching some YouTube tutorials. That's really cool. Wow, Kenny, so you really were chuffed to see beautiful adult colouring books. I remember seeing colouring books when Johanna Basford released Secret Garden. And I just thought it was so cool that it was for adults, and it was these fun, intricate colouring pages and not just these kiddish pictures. I remember also picking up Millie Marotta's, was it Animal Planet or something like that? And just being, I really love the idea of adults colouring things and being able to be a bit more, suppose you could say, stimulated to turn a colouring page into something more artistic. So it just appealed to me. But the Johanna Basford books were good. Millie Marotta didn't stick, and then the boys were toddlers back then, so I just didn't have the time for it. All right, let's do a beautiful blue jewel. To make all of these like blue jewels, maybe make these like white diamond type things, and then these can be bright when the paper's dry. I can't color on the paper here, so I'll have to just stick to, you know, what hasn't got any paint on it. let's try a cobalt blue hue, an electric blue, a powder blue, and a PC1024. Yeah, a whole new world and a wonderful community, absolutely. Oh well, since I got Helen Elliston's tutorials up, let's have a go. But we're not going to turn it purple, we will do it blue. Leave a white, well, we'll leave the white highlight there. So we'll just flip it on its side. Alright, I'm going to zoom you in a bit closer so you can see better. Hi Carly, how are you? Thanks for joining. Alright, then we're going to take dark purple. So I have to turn the book so it's kind of angled the same direction as my picture. Help me get the orientation a bit better. So when it comes to teaching the boys geometry or any movement, if my brain's not ready for it on the day, I'll just look at my son and I'll go, nope, can't do it today, sorry. Mom passes. I struggle to get my brain to rotate images. So even like with maps, it's I'm really grateful for GPS and that sort of thing, because I just really struggle to flip the map in my head. And even if I turn it in my hands, I don't always turn it the right way. Oh wow, Michelle, that's amazing to have such a talented sister. Yeah, decent pencils really help to improve. I found when I got my Prismas a lot more improved, but I also understand the argument that it's not just the pencils, it's also us taking the time to improve our skills. But I like to think that it's having the skills and the right pencils really helps. But then I learned that the paper is important too. And that's also blown my mind, because who would have thought that paper was so important? Has anybody found the electric blue just doesn't lay down color very well? I really struggle with this pencil, and I'm not sure if it's just the pencil color or something in the recipe, or if it's just the way it is. I'm not sure. Very peculiar. You turn your book when you need to. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely, Michelle. Paper quality does really affect how we pick books. Although I find if I can figure out which pencils work on certain books, then I'm happy if they're not the best quality, so long as I can make them actually work and it's not a frustration. But I generally stick away from Amazon books these days. I don't really buy too much from Amazon, just purely because of their quality of paper isn't always good. So Selena Fennick and Tatiana Bogema-Stolova, their sort of work I tend to kind of shy away from, or I will have a look and see what reviews people leave, and if I see quite commonly a common review saying that the paper isn't too bad, then I'm a little bit more inclined to go ahead and buy it. Right, I've swapped, instead of the electric blue, I've swapped for China blue. And then I'll do my powder blue, PC1087. And we can bring in a little bit of yellow. What yellow does she use? She just says yellow. I do like these little tutorials. They really are quite helpful. Oh, okay, so you like polys more than Prismas. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember that video by Emma Colors. Yeah, I do vaguely, and it was helpful. Oh, okay, cool, Kenny. I'm not imagining it. The electric blue is a bit weird. Thank you for confirming. So I thought I was just being weird about it. So I've decided I'm going to get myself a better pencil case for my Prismacolors, because I don't like the pencil cases where you can put multiple pencils in one elastic sort of band. I prefer the individual bands. So I'm going to change pencil bags for my Prismas. I feel like this is really low. I'm going to lift it up a bit more. Oh, okay, so color softs are a hit and a miss for you. I've toyed with getting color soft, but I haven't been too sure. I like Prismas because I can use them in a lot more books than others. I think polychromos are up there as second best. Alright, this paper is not going to take much more. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing in these places. They do have some beautiful colors, and I really love the grays when it comes to Prismas. I find I use grays a lot more as I get more comfortable with the different color combos you can get. And the grays and the skin tone colors in the Prisma set, I feel are a bit unrivaled, and you can really do a lot with those colors. Oh, interesting. They're not good on Jasmine books. Have you tried other pencil brands on the Jasmine books? I've still only really used the Prismacolors on the Jasmine books. I feel like I need to work on trying different pencils on that paper. Oh, okay, cool. That's good to know that your polys worked well. I was recording on the weekend a portrait tutorial in Jasmine Beckett Griffith colouring book. So that was quite fun. It'd be nice to do a new colouring page in that book and try polys. Try polys and then another one trying Black Widows. Cool. I just got to get past the editing. It takes about as long to edit as it does to film it in color. I still have to finish editing my other Jasmine color along series. So I've completed the page. I've got all the film, but I just need to edit it. and two of the boys have picked up computer coding now, so my laptop gets hijacked. It becomes a bit tricky because I don't always want to detract something they're interested in, because I don't know how long they're gonna be focused. Their attention spans can be a bit short. Oh, that's good to know, Kenny. You wouldn't buy the Color Soft. I appreciate you saying so. It helps because I really don't like the idea of buying more and more pencils and then they just sit on my shelf untouched. I'm just not a collector, let's put it that way. Oh, chroma flows. I have also looked at chroma flows. Just remind myself which ones those are. I know they're the Derwent. Now, are they better than the... Okay, yeah, I've been looking at the chroma flows as well. So are they better than the Color Softs? I mean, how would you rate them? No, I can't draw something else because I am waiting for the paper to dry. And while it's wet, if I go and color on it while it's wet, it's going to actually damage the paper. So I'm afraid you are stuck with what I've got today. Unfortunately. Oh, okay, so you would buy the Color Soft open stock. So I think with these ones here, I'm going to probably put in a bit of grays and whites just to give them some dimension, and then I'll paint over those with the Gansai Tambi Pearl Colors, probably the white one. I quite like the white one. Oh, okay, so Chroma Flow only have a small color range. I saw they had 72 pencils. white, gold, gold. So we could do white here. I think I was going to do a gold, and I could go over these with like black. Oh, Albert Duras, I've heard that they're very good. Oh, cool. They're on your wish list with the Wildegon book. You're so brave getting that book. It is so nice, I do agree, but it's really busy. I like seeing people's colored pages in it though. It's like there's that, oh, what's it called? My Colorful Country Life has got the book. It's got a picture of a horse on the cover. What's the name? It's also a very detailed one. I don't know if it's like Secrets of the Universe or something like that. It's also very detailed. Oh gosh, I can't remember it now. I think it's called Secrets of the Universe. That's also a really detailed book. Not the same as Wildegon. Alright, let me get my pearl colors and quickly put some pretty color on there. I don't have the Chroma Flow, but I see that they do have them. There are 72 pencils in the set, as far as I can see. Yeah, I think it's only 72. Yeah, just 72. Oh, I hear what you're saying, Michelle. Well, at least you're getting it. And if nothing else, it's in your collection. And when you're ready, you can pick it up, whether that's now or later on, doesn't really matter. So I went and got, is it Emily Olderberg? Is that her name? she's the lady that they got the petition, the coloring petition for her to do one of her coloring books that went out of stock. And I decided that I was going to buy her current fairy tales book. Yeah, Emily Oberg. So I bought her fairy tales book because I got anxious that it would go out of stock and I would miss out. So I decided, like, I'll just treat her books sort of more like a collection thing. Obviously I'll definitely color in them, but I'm getting them more to have them in a collection per se. Right, so this is the Gansai Tambi Pearl Colors. So if I zoom you out a little bit, then it will be easier for you to see. So that's what I'm using, and I'm using the white one here, and I'm just painting over it. So I find it dries clear from certain angles. So I wanted to put some pencil underneath it, so it looks a little bit more shaped. Hi Della, how are you? It's great to have you join. I'm so glad you could come. I appreciate Shannon's post. It's very kind of her. Right, so then here, this paper is almost dry. So this is where if you have a heat gun, you can use the heat gun to dry the paper more, a bit faster. So what I'll do is next week's live video, I won't come back to this page. I will finish it off at home, but I will carry on coloring it for this live. And then whatever I don't do, I will finish off camera, and we can do maybe either a page in airy romantic country, we could do a Kirby page, or we could do a Clara Markova page. That's what I'm just toying around with, those sort of ideas. Oh, I miss everyone's lives. It's so sad. I want to watch as many of them as I can so I can say hello. But the timing just doesn't work for me. Or I get time, but then I get interrupted. So it just is the way it is, I guess. Okay, let's see. So black around here. All right, I'm going to zoom you back in again. Otherwise, it's just too far. There you go. All right, so I'm just doing a gold kind of coloring along here now. All right, then artichoke. Is anybody doing any Valentine's Day colorings? Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? I'm sure we've covered this. Yeah, I think we talked about Valentine's Day last week. We could do a portrait actually, if you like. I've got a mermaid page with a guy, so kind of like a Little Mermaid theme kind of going on, where you've got the mermaid and she's with the guy that she's probably pulled out of the shore, so like Ariel and Prince Eric. And if I remember rightly, I was going to color it with that sort of theme, Disney theme in mind. So if you fancy, we could always do that one in our next live. It's in a Coloring Heaven book, so it could work quite nicely. Oh, thank you, Kenny. I'm sure we'll figure something out. It just takes a little bit of thought. I did get Paul Brun's Amazon book as well. So this my problem is I've got too much options. I sometimes think having too many coloring books just makes it harder to pick one. Yes, I have every Monday. I do a live stream 8 p.m. London time. And I've just learned to try as much as possible finish whatever page I start, or get it as close to finished on camera because it helps me to not have never-ending whips. So I will be doing this again next Monday at 8 p.m. London time. Okay, this is getting drier. Okay. So let's make these white. I think it will look very pretty if they're white. Let me bring you into focus. So I'm doing the little diamond things. What we could do is use a red gel pen and do the ribbons here with gel pen. Oh, awesome, Della. Thank you. So if it's noon by you, that must be 4 hours behind. No, wait. See, me and time zones, we do not always work. I do love Prismacolors on when you paint the paper, or if you have toned paper, even just colored cardstock, when you color with Prismacolors on top of them, it really makes the Prismas really pretty, especially your more paler colors. You kind of stand up and go, hello, look at me, I'm pretty. Oh wow, eight hours, okay. My brain got worried that 8 hours was too big, so I tried to halve it, and then halving it into 4 hours just didn't make sense. I was like, no, that's not right. So I think what I'll do on the background once it's dry is I'll probably go in with white acrylic paint and just maybe create a little bit of a bokeh, or just remove some of these white, some of these little circle things. So just use a gel pen and just outline them. Hi Pickle, how are you? Thank you. It's not too bad. I'll show you the side that's bled through with all my watercolor, but anyway. What I might have to do on the other page is just do a darker background. I'm going to do a series of my complete coloring collection books. So when I do my Magical Dawn and Hanna Karlzon books, you'll see all the mess I've made in this book. It's really ridiculous. But it's actually really fun. I mean, that's what art's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about fun. A lot of your books are on the seat of the Hot Mess Express. Yeah, you're right. It is all that matters. It's just enjoying it. I think it was on Instagram I saw you've got quite a lot planned for February. Some of them looked really cool. It's very inspiring seeing everybody else's plans for coloring. Okay, I still can't color there. Oh boy. Wow, you guys have got sunshine. That's cool. Oh, understandable. February's a month you need to keep your mind busy. Absolutely. You need to do what you need to do. Well, I hope that it is a productive month for you and that February does keep your mind occupied and gives you whatever it is that you need. Exactly, we just have rain and a little more rain. Cloudy with a chance of rain. I took the boys for a walk in the woods, and I got so excited because I actually saw a few little spring shoots. I'm like, yay! Winter is almost done. Spring will be here. Good coloring weather, yeah. Carly, you like cozy rain. So is that like misty rain where it's just gentle rainfall the whole day? Sometimes I like a good thunderstorm. Rain a good long and hard for half an hour, get it done and over with, and then bring out the sunshine. Yep, gentle rain. Well, I'm glad you've seen a few signs of spring as well. Although I've learned to just be patient until May. Don't get my hopes up until May for warmer weather, and hopefully this year we'll have a good summer. No, I don't think the UK does know how to do cozy rain. Although after a bit of a heat wave, it is nice to have some rain. But then after a few days, I'm like, okay, enough now. Go away. Just give me sunshine. Exactly. A few weeks of really hot summer, and then summer was over. Yeah. And we've had a lot of rain this winter. My goodness. Right, I need my red gel pen because I've decided that in the wings here I'm going to use red gel pen. So if I zoom you out a touch, so I'll do red in here. You can't do hot either. Fair enough. So you have 4 weeks in the year where you're happy with the weather. Well, at least you know how to maximize that. I'm just happy as long as the sun is out. The sun is out and I can go outside, even if it's just for a little bit. I'm happy. Oh wow, you're going to get snow. Oh wow, that's so cool. Enjoy the snow for us. We don't get much snow. We did get a little bit in the month. It wasn't an awful lot. It won't last long. So is it one of those areas where it snows and then it melts quite quickly? How much snow do you get on average? Okay, spinning the book again, making it upright. Oh wow! So you get snow every 10 years and only a couple of inches. Wow, that's not a lot. Incredible. It's strange because in my mind I always picture the States as having quite a lot more snow. But I think it's just, you know, one of those preconceived ideas. So do you guys stay close to the mountains? Oh wow. I can't even get my head around feet of snow. It's just, snow is not something that featured for us because we don't get snow. So we didn't get snow growing up. And then the first time I saw snow was after we moved to the UK. So I think it was January 2018. We had enough snow to build a really mini snowman. And I was so determined to try. But it really wasn't good snow for it. It was very soft snow. So it did crumble a bit. But I did make a little snowman. Wow, that's incredible. California has a lot of microclimates, beach, desert, mountains. That's a huge variety in one state. Oh, cool, Della, you live in the mountains. I love the mountains. Which mountain range do you stay in or near? I'm only a little bit familiar geography-wise with the Rocky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains. I've never been to the States, I just studied the geography. Although hubby is going to be going to Las Vegas later on this year. He's got a work function. I forgot to do the heart through here. Alright, I'll make a plan with that one. Just clean forgot about it. Oh wow, cool. Southernmost range west of the Rockies. outside of San Diego. Nice. You're really, really lucky to be able to live in the mountains. Oh wow, cool. An hour from the beach. Wow. So would you go to the beach often? Gosh, it's like you're right there, you have it all. Absolutely, best of both worlds. Oh wow, you lived at the beach for 14 years. That's so cool. It's a long time to live at a beach. Do you have sandy beaches or rocky beaches? Pebble beaches. I suppose pebble is the better way. And do you get big waves or gentle waves? Hi Emily, how are you? Oh cool, sandy beaches, nice. I love walking on sandy beaches. You can walk for hours and hours. Oh, I'm glad your migraine's going away, Emily. Migraines are horrible. I hope you haven't had a migraine for too long. Oh, that's cool. Mostly gentle waves, nice. These gentle waves just make swimming easier. You're not fighting against the waves. Well, I think we've done quite a bit on this heart. It's really just finishing up all this gold and doing the feathery wings. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jody. So I take it, Kenny, you really love California. I think I'm going to leave the gold plate probably like it is. Could try with the yellow gel pen and see if maybe just go over the lines. So it's got like a bit of a shine, but you don't have to color in all the, don't have to color everything in. I sometimes like using a gel pen over things like this because you get a little bit of an embellishment and it's quick and easy. Right, almost done. And then I will finish this off camera. Right, that looks quite nice and shiny, so it blends into the gold, but if you catch the light, it actually shines. Let me see. Oh, something like that, which I think it just makes it look a bit more interesting. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Della and Michelle. Right, let's see if we can do the highlights for the hearts. I think I'm going to need white paint for this. Because my gel pens don't always work on top of Prismacolor. It's a little bit infuriating, but it is what it is. Ah, there it is. something like that. And then if I do the white bits in the, just remove all these. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the gold plate in the center. Oh no, the live stream went back to the start. I cleaned it, that's why. It's not always nice and clean. My paint palette is often left very dirty. Unless I want to appear clean. I think a Posca pen would probably work better. Have a bit more control. Unless you've got really good like paintbrush control. when you clean yours, it still doesn't look like mine. Well, to be fair, you probably love your watercolor paints a lot more than I love mine. I am still growing in friendship with watercolor paints. Oh, thank you, Kenny. That's a great tip. Oh no, you battle with Posca pens. Oh, I struggle with the Sakura white pens. I just, for the life of me, can't get them to actually flow properly. I think these ones on the inside I will clean up with a white pen. Yeah, see, it's worth them being loved. It means you've enjoyed them and you're using them. Unlike mine that maybe get touched once every few months. Yeah, I don't know what it is with white pen. And then sometimes I see people using white ink, and then I get confused because I'm like, well, what are we supposed to use? White paint or white ink or gel pen? I mean, definitely pen has a place. It's easier to control. You forget what the original colors actually are. Well done. I still get stuck into not actually mixing paints, and I just go for the actual pan itself. I have to tell myself, try mixing, it's fine, it's not scary. Yeah, that's true. Whatever isn't a battle. Yes. Well, I think I'm going to leave this here, and I will carry on off camera and just finish this page, and we can do something else on Monday. So thank you for hanging out with me and chatting and letting me experiment and have a play. I don't think it's turned out too badly. And live and learn. So zoom you out, let's see, get a better idea. There we go. So I think overall the color palette isn't too bad. And I'll show you in the completed video, well, the completed pages video at the end of the month, the picture I was using for inspiration. And you can see then where my mind was going. But thank you very much for joining me, for chatting, and I look forward to next week and seeing what else we can color together. I hope you have a really great week ahead of you, and I wish you a great week of coloring and all goodness. Until next time, everyone, thanks and bye for now.